What's up, airplane collectors? Welcome back to another video. It's your host Ray. Today I'll be reviewing the Gemini Jet's 1-400 scale Alaska Air Cargo Boeing 737-700 BDSF. Geez, that was a mouthful. This model was released in November of 2021, and I just got this about a week ago, and I ordered it for a pretty good price off of the Alaska Airlines company store, so that was pretty cool. Enough chit-chat, though. To start the review, first I'll talk about the box and its features briefly, then I will begin an analysis and discussion of the model's features, and at the end of the video I'll give you guys my personal opinion about what I think of the model and whether I recommend it to other collectors or not. So let's start. Alright, so starting up with the box, of course it's your normal Gemini Jet's narrow body box, sitting at roughly 15.3 centimeters long, 15 centimeters tall, and about 4.5 centimeters in terms of width, so it's decently sized. Here's the front of the box, the bottom, right side, top, left side. Here's the back side. Here you can see all of the licensing lies and false guarantees that apply to only some of their models, so if you want to read this, you can. I'm going to try my best to show you the little flap under here, but you can see the box does open up. And here, give me 1 second. Okay, so you should be able to read the text under the flap here, so take a moment to read this if you'd like to. And here's the model. I'll give you guys a quick 360 of the model before I begin my discussion. So, oh, sorry if my fingers get in the way. Just this model's pretty small and my fingers are pretty fat, so that's really not a good combination. So before I begin the review, let's talk some specs. Sitting at 8.1 centimeters long from the tip of the nose to the APU, wingspan is looking at 8.8 centimeters, and from the ground to the tip of the tail, that's about 3.2 centimeters. So it's accurate to 1/400 scale. It's a very small model, so do what you want with that information. So let's start at the front of the aircraft. Here's the nose section of the airplane. I'd like to discuss this a little bit. So the Gemini Jet's 1/400 scale 737-700 mold, overall it really isn't the best, and one of its most lacking features is the nose shape itself. However, on this particular model, they actually did a decent job at it compared to what else they've pulled. Nose shape looks decent, window printing looks little, it could be improved from the side view at least here. And the gear doors are not nearly as big as they are on some other models, so honestly, I was pretty satisfied with this one. I think it might have been an accident on Gemini Jets' part, but you won't hear me complaining. It's better than some other stuff they pulled. So nose is satisfactory, I guess. I'll say that. Moving down towards the fuselage, you can see the window printing where the passenger windows once were, and of course the huge Alaska logo and the cargo bay door, or cargo door, there we go. All pretty nice, a lot of printed detail. You can see there's one singular open window right above the start of the flaps here, so it's also pretty nice. Sorry, let me let my camera focus really quick. And here's the rear section of the fuselage, very detailed overall. Here's the other side. I won't provide much commentary since it's basically the same as the left side. Let's discuss the wings for a bit. Wings are actually really detailed for this scale of a model. You can see there's the indentations for the flaps and air brakes, kind of, and a decent amount of printed detail on the top of the wings, so that's pretty nice. On the bottom of the wings, you can also see a significant amount of engraved detail, or not engraved, but what's the word I just used? I already forgot. Just a lot of detail under here as well, but there's nothing printed, so pretty impressive overall. Here are the winglets. The winglets look pretty good for what the mold is, at least. They're not the best in the market, but paint looks good. Everything looks aligned. I don't notice anything out of the ordinary or that shouldn't be there, so that's cool. Come to think of it, they might actually be bent up a little too far upwards. However, I'm not 100% certain on that, but they just appear that way because they're almost vertical, so take that into account. And of course, one of my favorite parts, the tail. Here's the guy's face on the tail. I forget exactly what his name is. I think it's Chester or something like that. Anyway, yeah, you can see the tail. A lot of detail on there as well. However, you can start to see some paint defects with some blue poking through the white of the face here, and some green sitting down there as well. So Paint on the tail isn't really the best. Quality control wasn't very strong on that, but aside from that, the shape and everything else looks fine. The other side looks a little bit better, but you can also see some of the dark blue paint start to chip into the lighter blue over here. So, yeah, painting on this model really wasn't the best. While we're back here, are the horizontal stabilizers. They look all right. I think they're flexed a little bit too far upwards in terms of wing flex. Here's a better, not exactly the best, but a better view of what I was discussing. From the side, you can definitely tell they're kind of pitched upwards a little bit, so I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but that's not sure if it's an inaccuracy, but they do look bent upwards a little bit. Let's talk about the engines. The engines look pretty solid, except for the exhaust portion. The exhaust portion looks pretty oversimplified and just not up to today's standards in the 1:400 scale model world. But they're not bent or anything. They're not really... They don't have the same defects as other Gemini Jets models do, so I won't complain either. As you can tell, my standards have significantly lowered for Gemini Jets models because their models are just trash at this point. A lot of their models are trash at this point because, yeah, quality control really isn't one of their concerns these days. I'm going to try and show you the inside, or what the engine looks like on the inside of the fuselage. You can also see one of like these little guide vanes right here, so there's that. So I flipped the model over so we can discuss the bottom of the aircraft. The bottom of the aircraft isn't exactly detailed, or from what I can see, it's not very detailed, which isn't a complaint, though you can see the bottom of the engines. They do have a lot of printed detail on them, so that's pretty nice. Something I did notice down here a few days ago is that there's 2 paint chips here, so the paint does arrive defective in multiple places on this particular model. But aside from that, bottom of the aircraft looks good. Everything aligns. So far, so good. Landing gear, it's all right. The landing gear quality overall compared to today's standards, not very good. But as for what this model is and what it could have been, it's pretty good. The wheels do roll, though they were a little bit stiff. Nose wheel has been a topic of hot discussion recently, but you can see that the nose gear doors aren't as large as on other models, so that's something they got accurate. Wheel rolls just fine. It doesn't look too fat, though it is kind of a little fat. But also you can see another printing issue here on the Dash 700 logo right there. You can see the paint's a little bit faded, so that's something to watch out for. In terms of external detail, this model only has one singular antenna up here, so when you're handling the model, you don't really have to worry about getting poked or anything. Here's the front of the model, by the way, and if you want to try and have a good look at those cockpit windows, here they are. They look good from the front too, but let's discuss wing flex. As I mentioned, the horizontal stabilizers back here, they aren't the best. The main wings, they're starting to bend upwards just a little bit too much, but it's nowhere near extreme, so it's within acceptable levels, I'll just put it that way. And with that, the review has concluded. That's all I really have to say. If I missed anything, feel free to comment that down below, and I will answer to your questions as soon as I can. But now for my final opinion. The model is alright. It's not the best that I've seen, but it's also not the worst. So do I recommend it to collectors? I'll say I do. Reason being is because this is the only time this model has been produced so far, an Alaska Airlines 737-700 freighter version, and it's decent quality compared to what else Gemini Jets has offered. So, sure, if you want to buy it, buy it. Don't buy it for anything over $50 though, because I don't think it's worth that much at the time of the uploading of this video, at least. So yeah, if you want to get it, go for it. It's a decent model. It's not the best. It's not the worst. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. That's all I really have to say. Again, I'll repeat this. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to say, feel free to drop that down below in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more model airplane content. I'll see you guys later.